Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 14th May 2016. The first article is related to criminal defamation. Now, various political people, they filed a petition in the Supreme Court against the criminal defamation, which is part of the section 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code. According to that, any person with malicious intention tries to defame the reputation of the other individual, he can be punished with 2 years of imprisonment. So now, anything which has to be a criminal case, generally it shall be a crime against the society. So here what has happened is, if you are defaming someone, it is kind of a fight between two private individuals. How it is going to injure the interests of the society is the first question. And the second thing is this. Article 19(1)(a), it provides for the freedom of speech and expression. So this forms the basis for the liberty. So, under Article 19(1)(a), you also have the freedom of press. So if I criticize someone who is in the public office, and if he is taking it as offense, and then if he is filing a defamation suit, then it's going to stifle my voice. That is the reason why Law Commission also said that the criminal defamation has a chilling effect on the freedom of speech and expression. And then we have Article 21 of the Constitution. According to this, the word personal liberty is stated. So with regard to right to life and liberty, the Supreme Court also said that a person's own self-respect and prestige, that is integral to his Article 21. So, the Supreme Court pitched Article 19(1)(a) against Article 21. So, in this case, as Supreme Court is observed, here the reputation of an individual is his fundamental right, then Article 19(1)(a) shall be, or else Article 19(1)(a), the freedom of speech which is given over there, it has to be limited. So based on this argument, upholding the Article 21, it has upheld the criminal defamation. And with regard to the very first question which I posed, it has been said that the state has the responsibility to protect the reputation of its citizens, which is, it's kind of a service to the society. That's what is the opinion expressed. So, across the world, if you see the trend now, the defamation is more a civil offense. Across the developed world, it is a civil offense. Only in India, it is still a criminal offense. So, these are the things. So, next is, the Indian Express also covered the similar article. It has taken another line of argument. The criminal defamation which has come from the Henry VII clauses, it is no more relevant today. The reason is this. Already, when the days, the information constraints were existing, and the powerful are able to manipulate the information to their advantage, their criminal defamation was able to help to an extent. But in this world of information era, there is a limited chance that criminal defamation will work. So these are the things which are being discussed over here. Coming to the free press. So now, we all make opinions about different things. Whatever the opinions we make, these are made or these are seen through the lens of the media. So media on positive side plays the role of a public educator. On the other side, it can, just with a stroke of a pen, it can spoil the reputation of an individual. So that's why the freedom of press, because the media action can lead to reckless defamation, and also it can create, or it has a great power in influencing the minds of the people. There has to be some restraint necessary on that, and the criminal defamation can act as such a restraint. This is what has been explained. And the next we have something called a new moment in Brazil. So with regard to this new moment in Brazil, let us try to understand few things. So the present, President Dilma Rousseff, she has to move away from the office because the impeachment proceedings are on her. So what are the reasons? One is the corruption charges, and the second thing is the Workers' Party was unable to change itself with the changing circumstances in economy. It is still dependent upon the commodity prices, which are very, falling. So in this context, the present president who has took over, Mr. Michael, for a while he may liberalize the economy to attract the investments, but in the long run, so he also has to face the challenge or the trouble. Now coming to the next article, 5-year plans are going to pass away, and now we are going to get a 3-level framework. In this, the first is a 3-year framework, 7-year framework. After that, we have the 15-year framework. Previously, in the 15-year framework, we had perspective plan. So the planning commission used to have this perspective planning division. Especially the objective of this perspective plan is to eliminate the poverty. So similarly, the 15 years perspective planning kind of thing is also going to be continued. But its name is going to be changed. And even this 7 years program is also going to be continued. Now it is called as National Developmental Agenda. So it means some restructuring is happened, but the world voice or world smell is still going to be existing. Now with regard to Indian pharma industry, there is something called intellectual property rights. So on to this intellectual property rights, the pharma industry as an Indian RL's Patents Act, which is protecting these intellectual property rights. So there is section 3D of this. What it says is this: if a public health emergency is there, then compulsory licensing can be allowed. It means that the government can allow for the other producer or other factory or company to produce the drug other than the patent holder if the public health concerns demand so. And the second thing is, evergreening of patents are not allowed. Previously, Gleevec drug, it tried to bring in the evergreening of patents. It means formulation is slightly changed and another 20 years of patent is applied. So this also is not allowed under the section 3D of Indian Patents Act. So in India, if a drug has to get another patent, then it has to prove its therapeutic efficiency. Just change in formulation cannot give you a new or renewal of the patent. So this process is not touched. But however, this particular compulsory licensing, a moratorium was imposed, and mostly the new policy which has come up, it wants to bring in the changes to the various aspects of the process or infrastructure, other things which are necessary over here. And coming to the Rangarajan's article, now if you see 1980s, India has achieved a strong growth. From 2005-2006, India also saw a 9% growth, 9.5, 9.7, 9.9. There is a very good growth. Now, there is a difference between this 1980s growth and 2005-2006 growth. The 1980s growth was in such a way that the fiscal prudence was missing. Now 2005-2006 growth, it was happened with strong macroeconomic fundamentals. The fiscal discipline was maintained. Inflation is under control. Now in this case, what we have now, today we have to get back to this 9% of the growth. What we have to do is the major question. The first thing is the falling investments rates and also the savings rates have to be arrested, and the productivity of the economy has to be improved. And productivity of the economy to be improved, it means that the technological upgradation and stalling of the projects, whatever the policy paralysis we have, the quick decision making, that is ease of doing business, all these changes are necessary. And at the same time, the investment flows also need to be liberally allowed into the country. And then social and political stability are also crucial factors that determine the economic growth. If we are able to maintain these conditions that can create a proper environment to achieve the growth. In 2005-2006, the growth is also facilitated by agricultural sector, where more than 5% of the growth was noted. And with regard to industry sector also, it was well maintained. So manufacturing sector. So these need to be retained, because if not, it leads to a jobless growth. These are the points which are touched. So these are the important articles for the day. And how the question can be asked: do you think India can go back to its the growth pattern, the maximal growth pattern that has achieved in the 2005-2006? How it has to be achieved? Something kind of this question can be asked. Prepared for that. So thank you very much. All the best.